Video clear? Please let me know in the comment section. Good morning, Nihal. Good morning, Kaustav. Is my audio and video clear? Good morning, Madhu. Okay. Good morning, Chetan. Right. Good morning, Rahul. So, very good morning to everyone watching this video. I am Anit Sharma from Oliveboard and I'm here with the live mint analysis that we do every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So यहाँ पे हम कुछ important articles को I discuss some important articles linking it to the static portion so that you have a more holistic view of the newspaper. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हम mint newspaper की analysis करते हैं. So before I begin, if you want to download this PDF, you can do it from the Oliveboard app. Go to the courses section. ये वेबसाइट पे नहीं होगा आपको, you have to download the app. वहां पे there's going to be a courses section, there's going to be YouTube class PDFs folder, वहां से आप इसे डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, so let us begin with the session. Let's not waste time. So the first important news is IMF cuts India view, signals global risks. अब देखिए, IMF brings in good morning Abhinav. IMF brings in its report. It's a biennial report. कौन सी रिपोर्ट है? वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक. ठीक है, वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक एक रिपोर्ट है जो IMF पब्लिश करता है. एंड दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम योर एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. आज 9 PM इसका एक डिटेल्ड सेशन होगा on YouTube. 9 PM पे I will be taking up a detailed session जिसमें हम वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक की रिपोर्ट को डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे. एक चीज डिस्कस करेंगे टुडे, दिस न्यूज इज रिलेटेड टू दैट ओनली कि इस वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक में IMF ने इंडिया का जो ग्रोथ टारगेट है उसको रिव्यू किया है और ग्लोबल रिस्क के अकॉर्डिंगली उन्होंने बताया है. अप्रैल का जो एडिशन है उसमें ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक, उसमें रिवाइज किया है इंडिया का इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ फोरकास्ट फॉर फाइनेंशियल ईयर 25-26. ठीक है, तो पहले उन्होंने कहा था that we are going to grow by 6.5%, but now they have reduced this target to 6.2%. Fine, they have reduced this target to 6.2%. Now we are seeing on an everyday basis, we are seeing that we have some kind of ratings for example Moody's, Fitch, all of them, they are reducing the GDP growth forecast for India time and again. And why? The major reasons is because of these geopolitical tensions, global risk, potential trade war, you can say. Because of these reasons, all kind of credit rating agencies, also all kind of international organizations, they are reducing the forecast not only for India but for many other at the global level also, and even at the individual country level as well, right? So इसमें क्या कह रहे हैं कि trade tensions, global policy shifts, uncertainty in supply chains, these are the major reasons why we have reduced the forecast for India. This news is specific to India only, but today at 9 PM we are going to see what are the growth forecast at the global level, what is the growth forecast at the individual level. Exactly, Trump tariffs, exactly, this is also a major reason. But still, even after the revision, India is still projected to be the fastest growing economy in the world. Fine. So यहाँ पे 6.5 से remember they have reduced it from 6.5 to 6.2%. Global GDP forecast has also been revised. It was 2.8%. Now it has reduced from 3%. Sorry, the projection was 3.3%, but now they have reduced it to 2.8% in 25 and 3% in 2026. ये भी हमने revise down किया है. जो advanced economies है, they are also going to grow only by 1.4% in 2025, 1.8% for the US. So you can see that इस वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक आउटलुक में सभी कंट्रीज का ग्लोबल लेवल पे भी इंडिविजुअल कंट्रीज का भी जो रिवाइज डाउन कर दिया गया है. फाइन. IMF, ADB, Moody's projected same. Okay. Trump tariffs, Ukraine Russia conflict, Israel Palestine conflict, or Israel Gaza conflict. Exactly. Madhu, absolutely correct. These are all geopolitical tensions. But still, India remains the fastest growing economy in the world. ठीक है, so according to IMF's World Economic Outlook, ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं आपको. According to the report, what is the revised growth projection for India in financial year 25-26? Is it 6.8%, 7.1%, 6.2%, or 5.9%? I want all of you to give me the answer very quickly. What is the revised growth projection for India? Quickly, I'm waiting for all of you. Absolutely correct. It is C, 6.2%. Very good. All of you are correct. Nihal, Karmik, Kaustav, Rahul, Romil, Chetan, Madhu. C is the correct answer, 6.2%. ठीक है? So you have to remember 6.2% for 25-26, and this is what this news is about. ठीक है? And earlier what was the projection? 6.5%. अब इन्होंने reduce कर दिया है to 6.2%. ठीक है? Fine. Then government extends tenure of RBI Deputy Governor T. Ravi Shankar by a year. So यहाँ पे what this news is about, यहाँ पे we don't have to discuss in very much detail. This is just a direct news that the government has extended the term of this RBI Deputy Governor. And who is the RBI Deputy Governor? T. Ravi Shankar. Sometimes directly they can ask you a question that MCQ, that whose tenure dash tenure of the deputy governor of RBI has been extended by 1 year. Identify the person who is the deputy governor. So Ravi Shankar, T. Ravi Shankar. ठीक है. This is the second 1 year extension which has been granted to him. So before also he had been he was given an extension, and now again he has been given an extension of 1 year. ठीक है. Fine. So, till which year has the government extended the tenure of RBI Deputy Governor T. Ravi Shankar as per the latest order? May 2025, May 26, 27, or 24? Quickly give me the answer. Quickly, all of you. Till which year has the government extended the tenure of RBI Deputy Governor? Absolutely correct. May 2026. ठीक है? So such kind of questions can be asked. They can even ask that whose tenure has been extended by 1 year. Then they can also ask the T. Ravi Shankar, the deputy governor's tenure has been extended for the first time or the second time. For the second time by dash years. You know, these kind of questions can be asked. Good morning, Vivekanand. Fine, then this was a news that gold rush breaches 1 lakh mark in Delhi. So this was a news, 2 days back, that gold has surpassed this 1 lakh mark. We were seeing that, gold prices are surging a lot. Right, gold prices are surging a lot. Though we have, seen it, yesterday only in the evening that the gold prices reduced also. So it had passed 1 lakh mark, but now it has started reducing also. Right, but we saw this 2 days back that it has crossed this 10 grams per this 1 lakh mark per 10 grams. So you can see that there was a lot of high demand. One is because of the ongoing wedding season, also you can take up that reason. One is because of this Akshay Tritiya. So this is a Hindu ritual wherein it is very auspicious to buy any kind of gold or jewelry in this time. That is why, because of this also, we saw that there was a great demand for this. And this price hike is also because we saw that the stock market volatility has increased a lot. So people are shifting towards more safer assets like gold. Right? This was also one of the reasons. So it reached 101600 per 10 grams, up 1800 from the previous day. Okay, so this gold of 99.5 purity, 102 100 per 10 grams. So you can see that it breached this 1 lakh mark also. Fine, then the reasons can be Akshay Tritiya, then geopolitical tensions also, because of market volatility also. Right? Fine. So this is what the news is about. As per the news, what was the record high price of 99.5% purity gold per 10 grams in Delhi? 99,300, 10,1600, 98,500, or 1 lakh. We are talking about 99.5% purity gold per 10 grams in Delhi. What is the answer? Cost of Tory ounce is basically, we measure through this Tory ounce, we measure the weight of precious metals. Like we have gold, silver. So through this we measure it. So it is like a unit. It is like a unit. Like we have meter, kilometer. It's like a unit through which we measure. Platinum, gold, silver, these kind of things. Fine. So it's like and it's not like Tory. It's like Troy ounce. So you are saying Tory, it's Troy ounce. Fine. Not Tory, but Troy ounce. Okay. Huh. Huh. Yes. Chetan is saying Tola. You can say Tola in English is Tory ounce. Troy ounce. Sorry. Fine. So we are asking about 99.5. 99.5. So it is 10 to 100. So the it has not been mentioned over here, right? 99.5 should be 10 to 100, right? So it has not been mentioned here. So you can just negate it. Fine. This question is the options are not mentioned here. So the answer is 10 to 100. Okay. Fine. Yes, Nihal, right. Very good. Okay, this is for your 99.9% purity gold. Okay, chal. Then again, Aadhaar ID made mandatory for benefits under farm scheme. So we have this farm scheme, which is your e-Naam. I am giving you homework here. Go and read about e-Naam. Okay, this is basically an online portal. This is related to the agriculture sector. This is an online portal wherein the agricultural commodities, they can be sold through this portal. Auctions are held and through this portal you can sell these agricultural commodities. So यहाँ पे news क्या है that Aadhaar ID is made mandatory for this. Okay, so Aadhaar ID has been made mandatory for being to avail these benefits under e-Naam. You have to have Aadhaar ID now. Before it was not mandatory. Now it is mandatory. Okay, so I'm giving you a homework. Read about this e-Naam in detail. I've already told you that it is an electronic or an online portal जहाँ पे agricultural commodities can be traded, can be sold. ठीक है, and auctions are held through this. Fine, this is an agricultural platform, you can say. ठीक है, so now for this Aadhaar ID has become mandatory. ठीक है, so as per the news, Aadhaar authentication has been made mandatory for availing benefits under which scheme? PM Kisan, Manrega, e-Naam, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Direct question, right? This kind of question can be asked. Yes, cost of 10 to 100. Exactly. Okay, so I'm giving you a homework. Read about this scheme. It is not B, Akshay. It is C, e-Naam. Okay, यहाँ पे we saw that Aadhaar ID has been mandatory for a National Agriculture Market Scheme. National Agriculture Market Scheme. Electronic, e-Naam. ठीक है? Then, let recycling lead India's quest for critical minerals like lithium. Now, what is this author suggesting? That we need critical minerals. Critical minerals. What? First of all, let's understand what is the meaning of critical minerals. Who's going to tell me what is the meaning of critical minerals? Write down in the comment section and tell me what is the meaning of critical minerals. Yes, Romil, Akshay, Chetan, Kaustav, Nihal, Madhu. What do you mean by critical minerals? So critical resources which are important for a nation's growth. Yes, yes, Kaustav, exactly. Critical minerals, these are those minerals which have a strategic, in fact, strategic international importance. They are very, very important, or strategic national importance, you can say. Even at the international level, they are very important. They are very important for nation building. Fine, that is why these are called critical minerals. Plus, they are very vulnerable to supply chain disruptions. There are, supply side shocks also, right? Nihal, natural resources that are essential for the economy and national security but are at risk of supply disruptions. Very good, Nihal. Essential to the economic or national supply chain. Yes, Rahul, very good. Those essential for national economic and national security. Very good. Okay, so that is what are critical minerals. Now, what we are saying is, we are importing these critical minerals, especially when we're talking about India. We import maximum amount of critical minerals, and they are and it is very difficult to bring them because of now geopolitical tensions as well. Right now, there are so many geopolitical tensions. There are so many you can say conflicts which is happening in the world, which is restricting the supply of critical minerals. For example, you consider this China US trade war only. This is going to restrict the amount of critical minerals that we can have. Fine. So because of this, this author is saying, these authors are saying that we need to focus on recycling. If we focus on recycling, we can meet our critical minerals demand. Okay. So what they are saying is that we need to recycle e-waste, electronic waste, and this should be our strategic approach so that we can have a steady state. We can have a steady supply of critical minerals like lithium, cobalt, nickel. So we need to recycle our e-waste. So this is we need to develop a circular economy. Circular economy is reuse, recycle, right? That is what is called your this circular economy is reduce, reuse, recycle. This is what is your circular economy. So we need to emphasize on a circular economy for critical mineral resources, because there is a lot of problem at the global level. There are trade disruptions, there's global scarcity, there are geopolitical tensions, because of which we need to we need to focus on our circular economy. India can boost the domestic capacity through extended producer responsibility rules. What are extended producer responsibility? What do you mean by extended producer responsibility? Anyone? Yes, for the example, strategic purchase of Greenland by USA for this reason. Yeah, that is why US wants to, take up Greenland, right? Lithium, cobalt, semiconductors. Yes, Madhu. My question is, what do you mean by extended producer responsibility? Anyone? The producer responsibility is beyond making and selling the products. Okay, something like CSR when a mine is exhausted. See, when we talk about what happens is the producer's role. The producer's role traditionally it was only ki we have sold the product and it's done. Ab we don't have any responsibility until and unless it has a guarantee. We do not have any responsibility, and guarantee also for the guarantee period only we have that responsibility. Otherwise, producers do not have a responsibility where that product is going, who is using it, how is it being utilized. Producers initially, traditionally, uh, they did not have any, you can say, responsibility. ठीक है. Now what they are saying is that producers should have a responsibility beyond just selling the product, that they should make sure that the product that they have sold, it should come back to them for recycling purposes. So producers need to bring in certain changes, they need to bring in certain policies at their individual level also, wherein their responsibility extends beyond wherein their responsibility extends beyond just selling the product. That means they have to make sure that the products come back to the producers for recycling purposes. Fine, Chetan. So, not like corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility is wherein you're allocating some amount, wherein you're putting aside some amount for environmental sustainability practices. Like that, in that case, you're putting in cash, or you're doing some philanthropic activity. यहाँ पे you are directly related to your consumers. Whoever is buying the product, you make sure that that person comes back, and that product is recycled, and properly that waste is managed. ठीक है, rather than these people just throwing it away, not utilizing it, the producers should take that responsibility. That is why we are extending the responsibility of producers. ठीक है, that is what they are saying. I hope this is clear. Fine. Yeah, it's like a sustainable business policy, right, Costa? ठीक है. Now, global tension and trade wars like US China, they are disrupting the critical mineral supply chains. There are supply chain disruptions because of these trade wars. Some lithium, now India has, some lithium presence in Jammu and Chhattisgarh, but their extraction is, limited right now. We haven't really, seen how we can extract that. There are certain issues in that. Therefore, the solution is that we need to recycle e-waste. Okay. Sorry. So recycling e-waste is going to offer a faster and sustainable alternative to secure these minerals. That is what this article talks about. Okay. So if you see that India generated 1.75 million tons of e-waste in 23-24, a 73% increase in 5 years. India can recover 90% of these battery materials by 2027 via recycling only. So you can see that 90% of the battery materials can be recycled. So if you see that if they can be recycled, that means they can be used again. That means so much can be our demand for these critical minerals can be met a lot by recycling only. And if we see the estimated recycling potential of a country, it is 61,000 tons of lithium annually, which is enough for 9 lakh EVs. So you can see the potential of this circular economy model for India. That is what this article is talking about. Fine. So what is the key proposal to secure India's supply of critical minerals like lithium as discussed in the article? Large scale imports from China, expanding fossil fuel exploration, investment in deep sea mining, recycling e waste, and strengthening EPR policies. What is the answer? Quickly give me the answer. Right. Recycling e waste and strengthening the EPR policies. Fine. I hope you understood the meaning of extended producer responsibility. Fine. This is a good word. In fact, if you have a question related to this in descriptive writing answer also, in that also you can write a way forward. If there is any question related to say waste, or in your social issues section, you can be asked such a question. Fine. Or if there is a question related to geopolitical tensions and how it is impacting India, like that, right? In that case, as a way forward, you can add this, that extended producer responsibility rules should be enhanced, like that, right? So these kind of words, you should grasp these kind of words and utilize it in your answers. Okay. Then, is the global economy about to stall? It's best to stay prepared. Again, we have an article which says that because of this rising concerns about potential global economic slowdown, what this article is saying, that there are concerns that there might be a global economic slow down because of these trade tensions, because which are initiated by Donald Trump. The tariffs that have been initiated, because of this, there might be a problem of global economic slowdown. That is what this article is saying. It highlights how financial markets, private sector confidence, and international trade, they have been impacted. This article talks about this. So that is why this article is saying that these countries should conserve economic policy space, and they should implement structural reforms to boost economic resilience. Okay, so we need to bring in certain internal reforms. Madhu is saying lithium reserves are available in Riasi district in Jammu and Kashmir in India. Very good. Yes, Madhu. Right. Okay, that is why this article is emphasizing that we need to focus on structural reforms, internal reforms, in the economies. Fine, use US-China trade war, these reciprocal tariffs, they might, they are triggering a global economic uncertainty, and there might be a possibility that there is a slowdown. We have seen the ratings also of global organizations, international organizations, and they are also saying that there might be a global economic slowdown. There is this Brookings FT Tiger Index. Do you know about this index? Anyone? Brookings FT Tiger Index? Anyone? Have you heard of this before? Anyone? So basically, it is at an international level, this index is calculated that talks about the global economy. That how is the global economic performance going to be? Of these, what they do is they highlight that how is the global economic performance going to be, especially in the G20 economies. Okay, so this index is saying that this suggests that there is going to be a mixed global economic outlook, and there is declining private sector confidence. Okay, countries like China, they are using fiscal and monetary policy to offset the effects, but they have limited effectiveness. So what they are doing is they are using fiscal and monetary policies, okay, to offset these effects of global economic slowdown. Okay, but these policies have become they are very less effective. They're not very effective. Low income countries like Africa, Southeast Asia, they are going to also suffer disproportionately. Okay, they're going to have reduced trade, reduced foreign aid flows as well. That is going to impact their development. That is why this article is saying just don't rely on fiscal and monetary policies, but you need to bring in reforms. You need to bring in structural reforms rather than just focusing on monetary and fiscal tools. Tools focus on structural reforms in the economy. Okay, so what is the article's main recommendation to handle the possibility of a global economic stall? Increase interest rates aggressively, expand public subsidies and foreign aid, conserve policy space and implement long term reforms, boost imports to stabilize demand. What is the answer? Structural reforms are long term reforms only. Okay, so the answer is C, conserve policy space and implement long term reforms. Absolutely correct, all of you. Okay, next, let modern geothermal energy power our AI ambitions. See, maximum times, what do we focus on is nuclear energy, right? We focus on harnessing nuclear energy, though this is a very efficient form of a renewable energy. No doubt it is a very efficient form of renewable energy, but it takes around 10 to 12 years to extract the benefits. It is a time consuming process. That is why in this article they have given an alternative. And what is that alternative? That we need to focus on geothermal energy. We need to extract and utilize this geothermal energy, because this, it takes around 3 to 4 years for geothermal energy to, give its benefits and all, and it takes around 10 to 12 years for nuclear energy. So this article emphasizes that we need to use geothermal energy for faster adoption towards your renewable sources of energy. Fine. So who's going to tell me that what is the meaning of geothermal energy? What is the meaning of geothermal energy? Anyone? When we're using this term geothermal, what do you mean by geothermal energy? Very easy question, very simple question. Even in our junior classes, we study about two forms of energy: renewable sources of energy and non renewable sources of energy. So, one of the renewable source of energy is geothermal energy. What is it related to? Cost efficient heat transmission. See, whenever we say geothermal, geo is related to earth, geography, geology. Geo means talking about earth. Thermal means heat. That means when we extract the heat of the earth, when we use the heat of the earth in order to produce energy, that is what is called geothermal energy. Fine. Nihal says source of energy that comes from the heat stored beneath the earth's surface. Exactly. So the heat which is stored beneath the earth's surface, when we utilize that heat in order to generate energy, in order to produce energy, that is what is called geothermal energy. Rahul says the energy generated via the heat from underground. Exactly. Okay, that is what is geothermal energy. Now they are saying this is a very good source of energy. It is easy also. We should utilize this energy. We should adopt enhanced geothermal systems, as a clean, reliable, scalable energy source, so that we can meet the growing electricity demands of data centers. Okay, and this is essential for AI development. And usually what happens is we consider nuclear power, but geothermal energy offers a faster setup. It has higher efficiency. It has a small land footprint. That means overall geothermal energy, if you extract geothermal energy, it is going to be really helpful, and it is going to meet up the demand that we have, the rising demand that we have right now. Okay, if you see, India has currently only 1.25 gigawatt of operational data center capacity in the AI sector, you can say, and we need 5 gigawatt by 2030, 35 gigawatt by 2047. So we can see that the demand is rising in these data centers for electricity, for energy. That is why we need to extract this geothermal energy. Nuclear energy takes around 10 years to set up. It is efficient, no doubt, but it is going to take 10 years to set up, and it might even not meet the speed of demand that we are seeing. That is why we need to focus on enhanced geothermal systems, which can be developed in around 3 to 5 years, and this is going to offer 90% efficiency and reliability also for these data centers. Regions like Ladakh, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, they have a huge potential for EGS development. And what is this author saying? That we should revive the 2006 geothermal policy. So in 2006, we had a separate policy related to geothermal energy. And what this author is saying, that we need to revive this policy. So I'm giving you a homework. Read about this geothermal policy which was launched in 2006. Okay, fine. So why is geothermal energy recommended for powering data centers in India over nuclear or solar energy? What is the answer to this question? It is cheaper to build than nuclear or solar plants. It takes the least time to build compared to all other sources. It offers high density, zero emission power, and a faster setup than nuclear energy. It is the only renewable energy source available in India. What is the answer to this question? Quickly, I want all of you answering. Madhu, Romil, Nihal, Rahul, Chetan. Kaustav has quickly given me the answer. I want others also to give me the answer. Hurry up. I'm waiting for all of you. Yes, it offers high density, zero emission power and faster setup than nuclear energy. So C is the correct answer. Very good, all of you. Then we have oil's call to bring down fertilizer subsidy burden, ease fiscal strain. So यहाँ पे what they are saying is, now in the previous mint analysis we have seen that the oil prices at the international level are falling, and we have seen many reasons behind this. I hope you remember those reasons. We're not going to get into that because 3 to 4 times we have already discussed. Now that the global oil prices are reducing, now they are saying that because of these oil producing in India, the fertilizer subsidy burden is going to reduce. Fertilizer subsidy burden is going to reduce. Now my question to you is, before I discuss it with you, can you give me a reason how are these oil prices and fertilizer subsidy linked with each other? How are they linked, and why do you think that if there are declining oil prices, this is going to help reduce the subsidy burden on fertilizers for the government? Can you think of a reason? Can you think of a reason? Anyone? Anyone? Rahul, Romil, Nihal, Kaustav, Madhu, Chetan, any idea? Yes, Madhu, the transport. One reason is that the transport cost is going to reduce. Exactly. One is transport cost or shipping cost is going to reduce. One reason is that. Right. It is used in production. Nehal, what are you trying to say? See, I'm going to explain this to you. Whenever we say that these oil prices are reducing, one thing is that the transportation cost is going to reduce. That Madhu has already told us. Okay, transportation cost. In fact, international level of shipping cost and all that is also going to reduce. One thing. Right? Fine. Second thing is that it is going to help in reducing the input costs. How? See, if you see, urea is a fertilizer, right? Urea is a fertilizer and urea is derived from natural gas. Okay, urea is derived from natural gas, and this natural gas is what? It is a hydrocarbon. You don't need to go in that much detail. This is just for basic knowledge that I am giving you. And the prices of this is, very much linked with your petrol prices, or you can say oil prices. The prices of this are very much linked with your oil prices. So if oil prices reduce, then the price of these fertilizers will also reduce. Okay, one thing is that. Then we are going to have cheaper imports. We've already seen cheaper imports because of these declining oil prices. Transportation cost, shipping cost is going to reduce, right? And that is why through these indirect measures, now the government can ease off with this fertilizer burden. So Costa is saying if oil price decrease, that then fertilizer cost reduce due to use of. No, Costa, I hope this is clear now. I'm giving you an example that if we talk about urea as a fertilizer, it is a natural gas. It is derived from this natural gas, which is a hydrocarbon, and the price of this is linked to petrol or oil prices. Okay, so the prices of these fertilizers will reduce. Then it is going to be cheaper to import. It is going to be cheaper to import these fertilizers, so it is going to reduce this burden, right? Import costs will fall, overall prices are going to fall, and that is why they are saying that this is going to ease fiscal strain. So this article talks about how global crude oil prices, because they are declining, it is expected to reduce India's fertilizer subsidy and import bills. That is what they are saying. That is why it is going to positively impact the economy. Current account deficit will also reduce, inflation will also reduce, rupees pressure is going to ease, and this is going to increase the fiscal space for public investment. So the amount of money which they were putting into fertilizers, into fertilizer subsidy, that can be used for other purposes as well, right? And we also saw that crude oil prices, they dropped from about $75 per barrel in January to $60 per barrel in March. So we've seen that there's a drastic reduction. So that money can be utilized somewhere else. India imports 86% of its oil needs. It makes global oil prices a major factor in economic planning. Center has budgeted 1.68 trillion for fertilizer subsidies. 5 to 10% savings in fertilizer subsidy bill is possible because of this. And these falling oil prices, they can reduce LPG subsidies also. Fine. Lower oil prices, they help control inflation, improve trade balance, support the rupee. So overall, this is a very positive outlook we can see. So what is one of the major impacts of falling crude oil prices in India's economy, as highlighted in the article? Increase in fertilizer import costs, increase in LPG subsidy spending, reduction in fertilizer subsidy burden, or decrease in public investment? What is the answer to this question? Major impact of falling crude oil prices in India's economy. What is the answer to this question? Quickly, I want your answers. So we are considering this, that the oil prices are reducing. So how is it going to impact the fertilizer subsidy burden? Is it going to reduce or increase? Yes, so C is the correct answer. It is going to reduce the fertilizer subsidy burden. I hope you understood this linkage between the two. Okay. Then we have the government may ask public sector banks to clear 30 to 40% unclaimed deposits. So sometimes what happens is people deposit their money, and for so many years nobody claims these deposits only. Nobody claims these deposits, and there is this data which says that maximum amount of unclaimed deposits are in public sector banks only. So one of the reasons can be maybe most of the people, especially the old people, they used to put their money in public sector banks only, and that is why when they die, nobody is claiming those deposits and all. So now the government is saying that they have asked these public sector banks, they need to clear these unclaimed deposits. Okay, there are around 78,000 crore lying as unclaimed deposits in the books of public sector banks. Okay, so they are saying that at least 30 to 40% of these you can say 30 to 40% of these unclaimed deposits should be reduced, cleared from their books. Yes, for 10 years. So what are unclaimed deposits? For 10 years, if for 10 years you have not claimed those deposits, that this is your money, then these kind of deposits will be called unclaimed deposits. So beyond 10 years. Okay, so that we can improve compliance, transparency, operational efficiency of the banking sector. That is why we are doing so. We are going to identify the high unclaimed deposit regions also under this. So which are those regions wherein we have the maximum kind of high unclaimed deposit? We are going to identify, and we are going to make a standard operating procedure. That how to operate with these unclaimed deposits. We are going to bring in a procedure. Standard operating procedure means a basic procedure which everybody has to follow, so that we can focus on quarterly settlement targets. Because what happens is, if these deposits are unclaimed, then this money is just left. This money is not being utilized. It is not coming into the economy. Okay. So the government is targeting 30 to 40% of the 78,000 crore in unclaimed deposits to be cleared. And maximum, public sector banks are maximum that hold around 80% of the unclaimed deposits. And these RBI guidelines for this is going to be started from April. And this is part of the ease reforms under PM's Excellence Awards. So what are these ease reforms? We have this ease framework. Okay, giving you homework again, read about this ease framework. This is for the banking sector. Whenever we study the banking sector reforms, here for those of you who have studied from me, you would know that whenever we study from these when we study about these banking sector reforms, then we study about this ease framework. Okay, so I'm giving you this homework. Go and read about this ease framework in detail. Okay, so branch level targets are going to be made. We are going to identify high deposit regions. We are going to create SOPs. This is going to increase our cost efficiencies. Indian Banks Association, they're going to help convey these standard operating procedures to the private banks also. And we are also going to bring in digital solutions to streamline this. Okay, so what percentage of India's total unclaimed deposits is held by public sector banks? 60, 70, 90, 80. What is the answer? So Madhu is saying RBI uses this money for depositor education awareness. Exactly. Fine. So what percentage of India's total unclaimed deposits is held by public sector banks? Romil has given me the answers. What about others? Kaustav, Nihal, Rahul, Madhu. So absolutely correct. D is the correct answer. 80%. Very good. Okay. Next, World Bank lowers India's financial year 26 growth forecast to 6.3%. Again, you've already seen IMF's forecast. Now let's see what has World Bank forecasted. World Bank has also revised India's GDP growth for forecast for 25-26 down from 6.7 to 6.3%. So they have reduced it to 6.3%. And what are the reasons again? Global economic weaknesses, rising policy uncertainty. Okay, so how much has IMF reduced? Quickly tell me in the comment section. How much has IMF revised? You have to remember these targets. World Bank has revised to 6.3%. IMF has revised to which percentage? Quickly give me the answer in the comment section. Okay, so they are saying that there's slower than expected private investment. Public capital expenditure is also slow in financially 25. Yes, cost of 6.2%. Very good. Okay, and this article emphasizes that there is this World Bank has said that we need to focus on fiscal strategies. We need to focus on policy coordination so that we can safeguard against these future shocks. Okay. So, forecast from 6.7 to 6.3%. Global economic weakness, policy uncertainty, sluggish private investment are the reasons. And for financial year 26 also, they have reduced to 6.3%. Okay. And and regional growth is also going to slow to 5.8% in 2025. This has also been told by World Bank. IMF has also reduced to 6.2%. We've seen fragile fiscal positions, constrained export demand, shifts in trade policy. These are also the growth risks. Okay, so according to World Bank's latest projection, what is India's expected GDP growth rate for financial year 25-26? 6.5, 6.7, 6.3, 6.1. What is the answer? You should remember all these estimates. Nihal, majorly you have to remember from IMF. For answer writing purpose, you can remember anyone. But if you get a question related to World Bank's, what is World Bank's target? What is World Bank's forecast? Then you should be knowing it is 6.3%. IMF 6.2%. Then we have Moody's, we have Fitch, S&P global ratings. We have these also, but majorly IMF, World Bank, so you should be knowing. More chances of asking from here. Okay? So C is the correct answer, 6.3%. Majorly you can remember for IMF and World Bank, Nihal. Okay? Then gaps in SEBI dispute resolution plan. Now, what they are saying is, what this news is talking about, that SEBI has proposed changes to its ODR framework, online dispute resolution framework. What they are saying is that we are going to bring in changes to this framework to improve efficiency, accountability, resolve security market disputes. So now they are saying that we are going to revive this online. Through online, we are going to focus on online settlement of disputes. Focus on this. We have this World Economic Outlook. ठीक है, focus on this report only of IMF and World Bank की also this. Just focus on these two. Fine, Nehal. ठीक है, whatever we've discussed today, focus on that. ठीक है, now some legal and market experts are saying that there might be unintended consequences, especially regarding deposit requirements and clarity between contractual and regulatory disputes. If you solve through online level only, through online dispute resolution framework only, then this might not solve the problem. That is what they are saying. So SEBI is going to revamp this ODR system so that we can have faster, stricter, and more direct dispute resolution. Okay, this is going to also extend to infrastructure institutions like stock exchanges, clearing corporations as well. Okay, we are going to follow standard operating procedure as well for this ODR portal. Fine, and SEBI also proposes that there should be direct arbitration mechanisms for claims of 10 crore and above. So what they're saying is that arbitration is basically when a middleman is there who tries to solve the disputes between two parties. Okay, so what is SEBI proposing? That there should be direct arbitration mechanism if the claims are 10 crore and above. Okay, now the challenge is that market part and what are they saying is that you have to deposit 100% of the disputed amount. So for example, A and B are in disputes and their dispute amount is 6 lakh. Suppose B has to give 6 lakh to A, but they have not given. Now, if you want to resolve your dispute, you have to deposit this 6 lakh amount. Jitna bhi, you have to deposit 100% of this amount. Only then you can say your problem will be solved, right? But for small kind of investors, this is going to be a hindrance. There's a negative aspect that for small investors, this is going to become a hindrance. How are they going to deposit 100% if they do not have that kind of capital only? Then dispute will not be only resolved. Okay, fine. So that is what they are saying, that this may limit access to justice, especially for small investors. Okay, so that is why experts are saying that we need there is clarity which is to be needed so that we can have a more fair, equitable, and in an efficient manner disputes can be resolved. So what is one major concern that the experts have about SEBI's proposed dispute resolution framework, this ODR framework? It reduces investor participation in IPOs. It eliminates the need for arbitration altogether. The 100% deposit requirement to challenge awards in court may restrict access to justice. It mandates SEBI to fund all legal costs. What is the answer to this question? They are saying that what is one major concern? So is it that it is going to reduce investor participation? Is it that it is going to eliminate the need for arbitration? Is it that the 100% deposit requirement is going to affect access to justice? Or it mandates SEBI to fund all legal costs? What is the answer? Absolutely correct. C is the correct answer. This 100% deposit requirement, this is a challenge which is going to restrict access to justice. Okay, so that is all from my side. Yes, Romil, Madhu, Rahul, Kaustav, absolutely correct answer. Thank you so much, all of you. This is what I wanted to discuss with you. Yes, Kaustav, right. Okay, so all of you, if you want to connect with me beyond these live sessions, you can connect with me on my Telegram group. Just write Mannat Educator and you will have access to my Telegram group. So if you want to discuss about anything, have any doubt related to anything, want to get your answers evaluated, you can connect with me on my Telegram group. Fine. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Otherwise, we are going to end the session here. That is all from my side. At 9 p.m. today, we are going to have a session wherein I'm going to discuss about the World Economic Outlook report, which is presented by IMF. Very, very important report from your exam point of view. Very important. Direct questions can be asked. So I'm going to cover it today at 9 p.m. and I hope to see you guys there. You're welcome, Kaustav, Romil, Rahul. You're welcome. Thank you so much, and let's meet in the next session. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. See you in my next one. Bye.